Hey guys, Itaewon Sammy, King of Gangnam Sammy. Welcome to my channel. Love it. Anyway, we're going to talk today about how to immigrate to Korea from anywhere in the world. Okay, so there's several. I'm going to talk about a developing nation and first world nations. Okay, how to immigrate, how to become Korean, permanent resident or Korean citizen. Okay, how do we do that? Lots of people want to start a new life. I have been here for 13 years, and I'm ending that 13 years coming up at beginning of February. I'm retiring and leaving Korea. Am I going to come back? Don't know. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see what happens. I get lots of questions from people who want to come here from developing nations. We're going to talk about that. And we also have people who want to experience a new challenge, a new life away from the Western world and are influenced by K-pop, K-wave, or whatever Eastern culture and want to move to the lifestyle of living out here. And I'll talk about that. But first of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who is watching, liking, sharing, loving. And I want to say thank you to a couple of people. Here we go. Brown Beauty Abroad, thank you very much. Looking so forward to working with you and love your story, which sort of parallels mine but goes in a different direction about living here in Korea. Chef Pizza, thank you so much for all of your comments, all of your support. Whipsy17, thank you for your comments on my video. I really appreciate that. I didn't actually know that. I had to watch the video and actually look at the logo to see that it was Kia. Chris Rupa, thank you for watching, and I'm sorry about not being able to give you good news, but you know, thank you for watching and liking. Natural Flow, thank you again for your comment. I do appreciate it. TikTok TV, I was happy to see that you were watching my videos. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Sassy Jungkook Jungkook Fix. Again, sorry that the news I gave you was not positive. Hope that, you know, things work out for you. Curlin La Chapelle. Again, sorry, I couldn't provide you with the news you wanted to hear. These are the people asking me questions about coming to Korea and working. Chandy Moon, thank you for your comments and for watching. And again, so sorry that the answers to your questions were not the ones you were hoping to get. It is tough to come to Korea, and that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about how do I immigrate to Korea, okay? And there are certain ways. Let's start with from a Western country, okay? Coming from a Western country is very easy because you can get probably, you know, very easily get a visa. Teacher's visa, student visa, holiday working visa. Very easy for you to get those visas as long as you have a bachelor's degree in any field, okay? And you're coming from one of the 7 Western countries. And what I mean by 7 Western countries are ones who are native English speaking: Canada, USA, UK, Ireland, South Africa, New Zealand, Australia. That's it, okay? Yes, India speaks more English than any other country in the world. That's because you got 1.5 billion people, okay? But that doesn't mean you're native English speaking. And I'm sorry, that's not my saying. That's Korean immigration law. And I'm going to say that one more time. It's not your qualifications. It's Korean immigration law. You can't change the law. Your qualifications could be, you know, better than Albert Einstein, but it's against the law. Okay, that's basically it. So how do you immigrate coming from from Western world? You get your visa, you get here, and you work very, very hard, and you do one of 3 things. You can get married and get a spousal visa. That is good for as long as you're married. Now, if you have kids and you get divorced, you get to stay until your child's 18. Then you have to go. it's changing slowly, but there is opportunity to stay forever under a marriage visa if you get divorced. But it's not easy. Korea is all about sponsorship. Okay, so when you get married, your spouse sponsors you. Now, the other way is to apply for emigration. So long-term visa is based now on points. Now, they keep changing the goal line, and recently they changed it, which pretty well excluded a lot of people. They raised it to benefit high earners. So basically, teachers were swept under the rug. Your age, you get points. Lower your age, more points. Higher your education, more points. Higher your salary, more points. You get points for volunteering. You get points for something else. And then the final one is Korean language level. You have to be fluent. Not only fluent, but you actually have to know Korean history and Korean culture. There's actually a level 5, which is not language, but Korean history and culture in Korean. You have to do it in Korean. It takes about 2 to 3 years to go through this program, okay? That will get you a 1 to 2 year long-term visa. Sort of like permanent residence, but not. It's one level below permanent resident. The other way to do it is to get the permanent residence. That way is different. You have to be continuously on a visa for 3 or 4 years. So either a teacher's visa, a long-term working visa, what have you. Then you have to go through the Korean language program and get level 5. And then you have to, show financial stability, criminal background check, all of that wonderful stuff, health check, everything. And then you can apply for permanent residence. And that is a 5 to 10 year visa, I think it is. I'm on that, so I'm at 5 years now. But because I think it's been extended to 10 years, but because I haven't renewed mine in a few years, that it'll catch up to me. They just want to update the picture. It's not that you have to do anything. They just want to update the picture and confirm your address and maybe a criminal background check. I haven't done it in years, so I don't know. Then the other way is this if you are, there is another one, is if you have Korean history. So if you are an adoptee or you are the child of Korean people or grandchild. If you can prove Korean heritage, you can get a F4 visa, which is Korean born outside of Korea, or Korean returning to Korea. So expat, right? Because Korea does not allow dual citizenship. So certain people, yes, for adoptees, they allow it, but not for everyone. So that's how you can immigrate from a Western country. Now, from a developing nation, say, for example, a poorer country, a developing country, you would still need to get here, and you would need to be a working visa. Now, you can't be a teacher. It's very difficult to start a business because you need at least $100,000 to $500,000 US dollars to start a business here. But you can, after 3 years, you can apply for the permanent residence, but you have to have the money in the bank. You have to be earning quite a bit. So same as from a Western country, you can apply for the points visa, but you have to follow the process. You can apply for permanent residence if you have the level 5 Korean and you have the money in the bank, or you can get married. That's also from a developing nation. So there are so many hoops to jump through, and the government constantly making it not easy for people to get their visa. It's not something you can just come here and get. Please don't think that. If you think that America is hard to get into, I personally believe Korea is much harder. Okay? From the stories I've heard from people trying to get into America and Canada, because I kind of looked into it, because I'm a Canadian citizen, I don't need to think about traveling. Because I just use my Canadian passport, I can go basically anywhere in the world. When I first came to Korea, for the first year or two, I was a tourist. I was just traveling. I wasn't working. And I was always concerned that, because I would do visa runs, I get a 6-month tourist visa. One of the longest, well, the longest tourist visa in Korea. Americans only get 3 months. I get 6. So I would just fly over to Japan or China or Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, I would go in the wintertime, and in the summertime, I would go to Japan or China. So I do 1 trip in June and 1 trip in December. There's my visa renewal every 6 months. I was like, I was always worried at the border I would get questioned, why am I coming in and out? Because they can see, yeah, you've been gone for, a week and now you're back for 6 months. Or you've been gone for, 5 days and now you're back for 6 months. So I was always questioning that. And I ended up a few years later talking to one of my friends who worked in immigration. He says, you're not a flag. And I said, what do you mean? Well, you're old. You're coming from a Western country. You're not a risk to overstay your visa or work illegally. If you were young and from Canada or America, they would ask, where are you getting your money? And if you were from another country, well, it wouldn't be possible, right? You'd have to have a visa. But visa on arrival, I think I must have done it 4 times. I can't remember. But that is how to get, how to immigrate to Korea, how to work towards staying here permanently. Okay, it's a lot of hard work, it's a lot of money, it's a lot of paperwork. It's not easy at the best of times, and at the worst of times, it's impossible. So the easiest way is get married. That's, a marriage visa is the easiest way to stay in Korea long term, but it's not permanent. Okay, the hardest is the point system, and that only is beneficial to the young, highly educated people who can earn a lot of money. So being a private school teacher, no. Being a professor, university professor, possibly. Working for a Korean company, absolutely. Okay, those are the ones who can get the F2, I believe it is. The other one is permanent residence, which is probably easy if you are here on a previous visa. So either working or what have you, before you apply for the permanent residence for 3 to 4 years. And Korean fluency. Korean fluency will get you everywhere in this country. Okay? So, that's it. How to immigrate to Korea. Why do people want to do it? Well, number one, a better life. If you're coming from a developing nation, definitely the money that you can send home or start a better life here in Korea. It's very safe, very happy country. I'll just go back. Why would a Westerner want to come here? Well, kind of tired of the Western lifestyle. In Toronto, where I'm from, I am one of many. Okay, I am not special. I come to Korea, I'm unique. I'm special, I'm different, and I stand out. Which, I'm an not extrovert. I'm not an extrovert. Well, I am, but I'm an introvert. It's funny. I'm a social guy, but I don't like to be in crowds. So being that who I am has helped me live a very happy life here in Korea. And if you want to check my videos, you can see the life I've led here. So that in a nutshell is why I chose to come here, why other people do too, is they're influenced either by K-pop or K-wave. I knew nothing about Korea until I got here. I didn't even know about K-pop. Okay, 13 years ago, it was Wonder Girls. It didn't really exist. It was local. They want to experience a new way of living. And growing up in the West and having traveled all over North America and Europe, I experienced the Western world. And I wanted to experience the Eastern culture and see what that was all about. And I fell in love with it. I think after about 3 or 4 days, I knew I was never leaving. That's why I'm still here. So, I do hope this helped you. I do hope you enjoyed it. Please click the like button, share, subscribe. Stay safe, be happy, be healthy. Itaewon Sammy, King of Gangnam. I'm out.